Ask any adventurer, and they'll know of Verci, a wealthy merchant from South Italy, and his underground treasury, the Money Pit. After getting rich in the weapons trade and earning the title of Merchant of Death, Verci set sail with his fleet to find the legendary Soul Edge. But during his quest, Verci learned his entire fortune had been lost in the chaos of a war that broke out in Italy. Half crazed, Verci hid what little he had left in the impenetrable Money Pit, located on a small island in the Mediterranean. There he stationed a grotesque guardian who silently and mercilessly disposed of all who entered, quickly becoming the fear of all looters. In recent years, however, a new rumor began to spread among some adventurers. Historic rainfall had caused flooding in the Money Pit, destroying most of its traps. The Guardian had also vanished, leaving the treasure free for the taking.
I can't believe we got through the Money Pit that easily. Thanks for the help, Ivy.
Looks like that tip about the Money Pit being abandoned was true.
Yeah, all we had to do was rely on that trusty sword of yours. Traps don't scare us as long as we have you. But hey, aren't you gonna take any of the treasure for yourself?
I only care for items related to Soul Edge, and I already have what I wanted. Now I just need to find Verci's notes.
Always so serious. You're beautiful and you're strong, so, you know, we could... Huh? What the hell is that? What?
The sword's resonating?
Hey, what did you go quiet for? Whoa, don't drop the treasure there! Huh? Oh, this is a head!
Above you! Ready your weapon! I knew this was too good to be true. That's your target, Blade. The Guardian! Ha! Slice up everything that comes near us, Blade! I missed? Oh no! Ugh, I'm at a disadvantage fighting here! My blade! Show me the way out!
In the deepest room of the dark underground vault, there was a magnificent sarcophagus and chair illuminated by torchlight. Before it stood a lanky, grotesque man, the Guardian feared by looters, with his head bowed in respect. His name was Voldo, a dark vestige of the talented man who had once served as Verci's right hand. Long years underground had robbed Voldo of his sight and sanity. Before his dead master's sarcophagus, he reported his failures. Voldo deeply regretted the fact that he had left the Money Pit for 3 years in order to find Soul Edge. And although he was completely alone, Voldo heard a familiar voice.
Thank you for your report, Voldo. With new challenges often come failure. Learn from your failures, and you shall be wiser. While you were in the outside world, the Money Pit was flooded, and the traps were all destroyed. Now then, enough lamenting. You have important work to do. But there's one thing we must do first. I'm sure you have felt it, right? The aura emanating from the swordswoman Ivy. My merchant's intuition speaks to me. That aura comes from the legendary sword I spent years seeking, Soul Edge. She also stole a portion of my notes, which are some of my most valuable possessions. And of course, we can't let the other thieving rats get away with the treasure they stole. Therefore, Voldo, I shall give you 2 missions. Your first is to track down that woman and acquire all the clues you can concerning Soul Edge. Your second is to reclaim my notes, as well as all the pieces of my collection that were stolen. Some of the vermin still remain on this island. Exterminate them first, and reclaim what they stole. I'm counting on you, my loyal servant.
Look at the jewel on this sword!
That's really something. Not that I expected any less from Verci's collection.
What was that sound? The wind? Ah!
The adventurers had looted a number of the strange weapons Verci had collected. With Verci's treasure before him, Voldo reminisced as he held in his hands an unusual pair of blades from India. Amid the moonlight reflecting off the blood-stained blades, old memories began to resurface in his mind.
What? You've never seen a pair of chamadars? They're also known as bundi daggers. Other merchants call them guitars, but they're mistaken. If you wish to become the next merchant of death someday, you'll need to learn all about weapons and their uses. Here, I'll lend them to you, but make sure you return them to me. My instincts tell me they will be a good match for you. Go on, give them a swing.
Ivy's scent was fading, but that did little to hinder Voldo. Honing his senses for years underground had given him something of a sixth sense, which allowed him to sense invisible auras that people leave behind. As Voldo moved north, tracking Ivy's unique aura, he continued reclaiming the treasures stolen from his master.
Hand it over, Grandpa!
Wait, take anything you want but this.
Why? Because that one will fetch the highest price?
What was that? I just heard footsteps.
My leg!
What's happening?
You want this sword? I don't care what kind of monster you are. You'll not have what my brother left to me.
The scent of Verci's treasures wafted up from the golden blade that the old merchant cradled. It was the item that launched Verci's quest for the golden treasures of the Orient, prior to his search for Soul Edge.
You want to stop looking for Soul Edge?
Verci, we just began your search for the golden treasures of the Orient. And now you want to go off looking for a sword that's nothing more than a rumor? You must be mad.
You're either a wolf or a sheep, Enrico. It's hunt or be hunted. And only the bold come out on top. Bad enough about this. I'll lead the search for Soul Edge. And you, Voldo, will assist me each step of the way.
What? But he's so young. He isn't even family. Wait, Verci! Wait. Your weapons, your face. It can't be. You're... Oh, forgive me. If only I would have protected our fortune during the war, Verci would still be here. You can have the blade. You didn't take the sword?
Perhaps Voldo decided that he only needed to recover what had been truly stolen. Whatever the case, Voldo soon disappeared, leaving the golden blade with the old merchant. Tracking Ivy's aura, Voldo eventually came to a desolate Spanish port town. That's when he realized something. He had once visited this port, at a time when it still thrived. However, the aura's trail only led him to the ruins of an establishment known as the Blacktail Inn. The next thing Voldo knew, he was surrounded by spirits of the dead.
Steal, kill, and steal again. curse you!
The scent of the ocean breeze, the whispers of the name Cervantes by the dead. Together, they caused a distant memory to surge up from the deep recesses of Voldo's mind. Enlist the help of the notorious pirate Cervantes de Leon in your quest for Soul Edge. A mission to negotiate with a pirate infamous for his cruelty meant almost certain death. Still, Voldo journeyed to Cervantes' haunt, the Blacktail Inn, in order to carry out his duty.
So, Verci's offering me 12 Saker cannons, along with this pistol sword you brought. It's certainly a rare item. I see Verci taught you something about the art of appraisal. It's curious, though. If he wanted to ask a favor of me, then why did he not come here in person? Instead, he sent a whelp like you! My. A bullet grazes your cheek, and you don't even blink. Not bad. I've taken a liking to this weapon. 4 top-of-the-line culverin cannons, and 4 falconets. I want Verci to send me the same things he gave to the Spanish Armada. I'll accept the deal, and let you return with good news. It will be good for a little amusement, at least.
As Voldo tracked Ivy east, her aura growing ever stronger, he became aware of 2 things. The first was that Ivy had crossed the mountains and was now moving west. The other was that he was not alone in this hunt. Some unknown group was also secretly tracking Ivy. Regardless of who they were, Voldo had no doubt they would only hinder his mission. So it was that Voldo decided to utilize the mountainous terrain to hunt down the hunters.
The doomed woman with the blood of the cursed sword in her veins. I don't like the idea of being ordered to eliminate a mere woman. And why do we need so many people?
Once you see her blade in action, you'll change your mind.
Don't worry. I'm ready for whatever happens. But something's off. We should have been engaging the enemy by now. Where's the signal? What the?
What the hell's this? being attacked by an unidentified entity. I need to report. Ah!
Having fun? Oh, right. I forgot you have no sense of humor. Never thought the day would come when I'd be saved by you. Don't expect me to thank you. Long time no see, Guardian. Or should I say, Voldo. I could sense you approaching. I've gained a lot of experience since we last met, you know. I also did a little research. Research on the Merchant of Death, and the young man who worked as his shrewd right-hand man. As someone whose life was also ruined by that cursed sword, it's hard not to feel sorry for you. I know. You want this box, right? Then fight me and win it back.
Battle 1. Fight!
I see you too, possessed by spirit. Mediocre! I still owe you for before.
Battle 2. Fight!
I still owe you for before. How adorable! I still owe you for before. Not over yet!
Battle 3. Fight!
I'll make you submit! Enjoy your treat! Give it up already! Silence! Playtime is over!
Fight!
Predictable! I still owe you for before. A loyal blade, void of any hesitation. You know, I feel a little envious of you now. I don't need this anymore. Take it. But let me tell you one thing. The soul edge you seek has already been destroyed. If you want to see for yourself, head to Ostrheinsburg. Farewell.
After throwing Verci's box back to Voldo, Ivy leapt off the cliff and used her snake sword to disappear into the mountains. Voldo could have followed her, but the risk of dropping the precious box was too great. Since he had already collected several other treasures, Voldo decided to return to the money pit. Standing before Verci's sarcophagus once more, Voldo bowed his head and gave his report. Before long, amid an eerie glow, Verci appeared before his loyal servant.
Welcome back. You have my thanks for completing both your missions. I find it hard to believe that Soul Edge was destroyed, but we will learn the truth in time. First, we should rejoice that my treasures are now back where they belong. Also, the woman may have stolen a portion of my notes, but in this box are our letters. The letters we exchanged while you were assisting me in my search for Soul Edge. These easily contain more information than one could ever glean from my notes. I'm sure she would want to get her hands on them. However, the real reason I value this box so much is because it contains a record of my successor completing all his training.
The fact that Voldo still remained loyal to his master long after his demise proved how much they trusted each other. Deep within the dark pit, in a hollow darkness lit only by the glow of flickering flames and gold, Voldo basked in a new, blissful light, born from Verci's everlasting trust. The names of the warriors whose fates were bound to the two swords have been etched into the very fibers of history.